Hello, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. I'm joined by my friend Mark.
Hello.
We are both political science majors. And before we get into the topic today, I would like to thank everybody who got my video to 1,000 views in one day. It means a lot, dude, and everyone that subscribed to join me for future conversations. I know a lot of you are Yang supporters, but anyone who did, thank you. So the topic today that a lot of people are talking about, the DNC came out with their fourth debate lineup, and they're going to have all 12 candidates on the debate stage. So it's all 10 from the third debate, plus Steyer, and plus Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, yeah.
She's back. Now this is a great setup. With 10 people, it was already a mess. So now we have 2 extra people, which means every candidate will only have 5 minutes to debate who hates Donald Trump the most. So the way they explained it is that they want to have the max viewership they can, and if they split the debate into 2 nights, they won't get that. So let's assume the ratings would usually be lower for both nights because people will pick out which night they would rather watch. So now, instead of picking which night people want to watch, we all just get to be disappointed.
They're just turning the debates into a reality TV show where, they're trying to get as much viewership and ad revenue as possible and not actually give the candidates an opportunity to speak directly to the American people.
Yeah, I think it's crazy because they already can't get their messages across. It's feeding into that stereotype that the conservatives are pushing, that it's a total circus. So they're just yelling back and forth.
Which is a little ironic given the Republican primary. And to give only 5 minutes per candidate to give detailed discussion, it's like a disgrace and almost insulting to the people that are dealing with these issues.
Yeah, Yang and Bernie have both said this, that it's not enough time to answer questions. I think Yang said it first. But either way, the lower candidate gets screwed out of this. Because there's so little time for so many people, either the top candidates will spend all the time defending themselves, so the lower level candidates won't get a chance to talk, or the lower candidates will get a chance to talk and the top candidates are able to hide.
It's almost like they're doing it on purpose, but they don't want someone like Yang to have a chance to kind of get his voice talked about.
Yeah, and inversely, they don't want Joe Biden to have to talk, because every time Joe Biden is seen on national television talking,
he talks about record players and corn pop and
he ends up dropping in the polls. That no matter who wins the debate, in the end, the people are losing. So we could already predict what's going to happen with all the impeachment stuff. Every time a candidate talks, other than someone like Yang, who actually gives answers to questions people want, it's going to be a competition to see who could attack Donald Trump on impeachment more. So when they're giving their opening statements, all right, Castro, your turn to bash Trump. Trump is a bad man ruining our country. And they'll just totally miss the mark. Like I said in my last video, they have that total disconnect with the American people. People don't care about Trump. They don't care about Trump being bad. They care about the systems that are affecting their everyday lives.
And that'll just cause a problem where even less time is being put into discussing topics that people actually want to hear about, like healthcare. Because the more they talk about that, the more Bernie and the other progressives surge, because they're the ones that actually are correct on this issue.
Well, a news story came out this week, or maybe last week, but that top Democratic donors threatened the DNC that if they let Warren or Bernie get nominated, then they're throwing all of their money behind Donald Trump. So the Democratic liberal donors will throw all their money behind Donald Trump if they elect an actual progressive.
Which just goes to show that the Democratic establishment, is simply just a Republican light. It's what it is. It's just them. And then when voters are given the opportunity to vote for a Republican or Republican light, they're just going to vote for Republican 100% of the time.
At least they're genuine in their conservative beliefs. At least if they're going to do something, they'll say, all right, we're going to cut these programs. They're not going to lie about it and say they're true liberals and then turn right around, take huge donations from pharmaceutical companies, from military companies, from prison complex companies.
And do half measures and lead on the American people into believing that they can give their support to somebody who has empty promises.
People could see through the hypocrisy. They might think the American people are dumb, but they definitely aren't stupid. So basically what these politicians do to us is their job is to tell people and convince people that they're going to create change. And then they turn right back around and tell their donors that things will stay the same, that the most powerful people in our country will stay powerful. And unless if the Democratic Party says, you know what, we're no longer going to be this party of corruption, we're not going to feed into this system anymore, if they don't have the balls to stand up to their own evil principles, then I think that'll lead them to their own demise.
Who's going to vote for somebody that they have no faith in?
You need to be able to make your voters passionate about something. Obama was change, maybe even being the first black president. Donald Trump, it made people on that side passionate about this immigration issue on the wall. But what passion is to be had in the direction they're going right now? The corporate side. The side that says we're better because we're not as bad. How am I supposed to go campaign for someone like Joe Biden right now?
I think the most telling or symbolic answer that was given during a debate was when they asked each candidate what the number one issue would be when they got into office, and Joe Biden replied, "I would defeat Donald Trump." It just goes to show. Just goes to show he has absolutely nothing to stand on when it comes to policy.
And I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Joe Biden, Joe Snedeker, he's a local weatherman. I don't care who it is. Joe Schmo on the street, me, my name is Joey. You know, the average Joes all around. I don't care who it is. Just be genuine. Be a normal person. Don't just be a politician.
Exactly.
Like, how am I supposed to say to people, like, if someone asks me why they should vote for the Democratic nominee, Joe Biden, and my only answer is, well, you know, he's bad, but the other guy's worse.
It's exactly the argument made in 2016 for Hillary Clinton, and the voter turnout was so low that that's what ended up winning Hillary Clinton, or losing Hillary Clinton the election, was nobody was motivated to vote for her.
Well, they blamed all the Bernie people, but how are you supposed to support a candidate that stole an election?
I hate that argument so much. Well, maybe if the DNC didn't rig the election towards Bernie Sanders, then
away from Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, away from Bernie Sanders. Then the nominee wouldn't have been Hillary Clinton, and they would have won the election.
Yeah. They had a whole list of things to blame her losing on. Benghazi, the emails, terrible public persona.
WikiLeaks.
When she said to the American people, Pokemon, go to the polls. Out of all those reasons, they found a way to blame the most passionate sector of the Democratic Party. And I think that's a real issue. Alright, so a recap. The fourth debate will have way too many people, 12 candidates on one stage. That will be a giant cluster, you know what. It'll be a lot of yelling back and forth. Either the smaller candidates will talk a decent amount, and the top candidates will be able to hide behind their popularity.
That's what happened in the third debate.
Yeah. Or the popular candidates will spend the whole time defending themselves, and the smaller candidates will not have a chance to talk. Like Andrew Yang, like Tulsi Gabbard. And these are people that definitely deserve their shot, just because they aren't ushered into the political process like all of these other people.
And two debates is what they're scared of, because it would give those candidates an opportunity to talk.
Yeah.
And that's not what they want right now.
Yeah, they're already having their own issues with the progressives, Warren and Sanders, mostly Sanders because he's a lot more progressive than Warren, but they're having issues with that infiltration in the party. They're trying to go completely corporate, and it seems like they're still moving away from the people. So they're going for higher ratings, lower quality, higher dissatisfaction, lower potential. They're just going, you know how Andrew Yang says it's not left, it's not right, it's forward? It's not any direction but backwards right now. The DNC is mishandling everything. They have a total misunderstanding of public communications. They have no populist tone whatsoever. They're too establishment to understand that. And I think the fourth debate will end up looking really bad for them, especially once, you know, everyone will be yelling back and forth. You know how social media works? They could just take a clip out of that with everyone yelling at each other. Beto O'Rourke will just scream in the darkness, or we will take your AR-15s. And then, you know, it's the end right there. Terrible perception by the public. Total L for the Democrats. So anyways, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me for another discussion, this time with Mark.
Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment something to add to the conversation, and subscribe to join me in the future. Thank you.